Hello, everyone. This is Gray Squirrel Patriot coming at you again on another Friday where we are doing our happy hour. I am here today with Mrs. Gray Squirrel Patriot,
Hello.
and we wanted to come back and discuss the week in review, sort of. This is where we do not only news things, but we also do some pop culture things as well as some paranormal things that we find interesting. So, I thought we'd start off by talking about one of our favorite subjects lately. It's Bud Light and the disaster of Anheuser-Busch, and some of the things that have come out this week. At the end of last week, if you remember, the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, Brendan Whitworth, released another statement. Again, not apologizing, just coming out and, hey, yeah, we're going to move forward. We realize there's been a lot of talk about us, and they, again, just ignoring things. No apology, no accepting responsibility, nothing. Really, all he did was talk about who they're going to help, who their concerns are with, which are their employees, their third-party vendors, basically their distributors who don't work directly for them. And then finally at the bottom of the list were their customers, which tells you everything you need to know about Anheuser-Busch at the moment. Mm-hmm. And that statement from them got destroyed. And everything that they have done has been just... really, it was almost like a guilt trip they're trying to put out there. They're like, we're going to make you feel guilty for the boycott. How dare you disagree with us? And right, is that how you were feeling?
Yeah, definitely. They were taking no, blame for any of the way that they dealt with any of this stuff. And it's not. It's our fault that we're so horrible, and we're not accepting of all people and all of that. And it has nothing to do with that. It's about the kids, and they just will not even, even acknowledge that. And it's really sad. I think if they did before, the 2 months had passed,
yeah,
maybe it would have worked, but...
That's the thing. I mean, I did a video about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago where I was saying it's not too late for them to apologize and maybe save their brand. I don't know if, I think every time, first of all, every week they let get by, it's damaging. But the fact that they keep coming out and ignoring things, and now they're basically saying, we hate our customers. We don't care. That's the thing. Now, initially I thought this whole thing was a case of stupidity on their part. I felt this Brendan Whitworth, I think he was, kind of incompetent, but I thought he was maybe caught a little flat-footed by the foolishness of his marketing person, this Alyssa Heinerscheid.
Yeah.
Because she's clearly the one that did this, and the fact that they put her on leave, which they never fired her, okay, and that's the thing, they never fired her.
Yeah.
She's on a leave of absence. And that was one thing. So, I'm like, all right, just apologize already. That's all you got to do. If you go to their website, or actually if you go to even their YouTube page and look at their most recent video, it's like a 15-second advertising spot. They're getting destroyed in the comments. It's just people saying things like, will you just apologize already? Yeah. And they won't. And it's like, wow, you'd rather spend millions after losing billions in value, but you want to spend millions to try and save your brand rather than just say, you know what, we screwed up. We're sorry. We're sorry we offended our customers.
Yes, their whole thing is like it's easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Yes.
It should be easy for them to apologize. I mean, it would have been easy before, but They should have done that. And it's also easy for everybody else to find something else to drink.
Yeah, it's not
Just
like
saying.
there's any shortage of other beers out there. And
Right.
the thing is, their product isn't that great either. I mean,
It's gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Not very tasty anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my father is a Budweiser drinker, not Bud Light. But in the past, I've picked up that Bud Light Lime. That was a good one for summer. But other than that, I never really cared for Budweiser or Bud Light. I used to drink Labatt Blue, which is actually an Anheuser-Busch product. And trying to think of some of their other ones that I didn't even realize they were Anheuser-Busch. But yeah, Labatt Blue was
Corona.
one. What's that?
Corona.
Corona is another. Corona sucks anyway.
Yeah.
I never liked Corona. Sorry. For all of you who do like Corona, I'm sorry. You know. But yeah, I never liked Corona. And actually, you know, they've been taken out by another Mexican beer, which is Modelo, which is now the #1 selling beer in the U.S., which is kind of weird. They are, worldwide, they're an Anheuser-Busch product, but within the United States, there is another company that owns them. It's kind of a weird marketing, not marketing thing, it's a licensing thing that they had to do because of, I guess when InBev might have bought Anheuser-Busch or whatever, how it was brought into it, and they weren't allowed to retain ownership according to, I guess, antitrust stuff in the U.S., so they are not the owners of that. So, but I have not tried Modelo. I don't know if I actually will. But anyway, the one thing though that has come out, and you know, with all this stuff going around about Bud Light and you know, will they just apologize and all that, there was some stuff that actually is kind of flown under the radar. Yes, some news outlets picked up on it. The Daily Mail picked up on it, and then I ended up doing a little video about it earlier this week, which is that they appear to have intentionally set up this whole thing with Dylan Mulvaney. And what I mean by that is, if you remember correctly, one of their original excuses was, oh yeah, I guess I'm not supposed to say that person's name because of the overlords of internet usage. Anyway,
We'll call him DM from now on.
Yeah.
We'll just say it once and
yeah,
it's all good.
DM,
Yeah.
okay, who is the trans activist, and that's one of the things here too. Is we'll talk about that in a minute, but it has come out, and this all started with actually Senator Cruz. When the whole boycott started, Senator Cruz made an inquiry to Anheuser-Busch about, like, well, gee, this particular influencer is a person whose most of their audience is under 21. In fact, actually, most of his audience appears to be under 18.
Yeah.
But, you know, so clearly that seems inappropriate for a adult beverage company trying to market their product to someone, to children. And using someone who is famous, and most of their fan base is below the legal drinking age. Actually, like I said, they're probably well below the age of 18.
Yeah.
So that has been the whole whatever. And, you know, so Senator Cruz has started making inquiries, and actually Anheuser-Busch acted foolishly even with those inquiries. They did not respond. They sent a letter back, but they ignored specific requests for information that Senator Cruz's office sent in. And actually the irony is that the beer industry is regulated, it's kind of self-regulated through a beer institute And Brendan Whitworth, who is the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, is also the head of the Beer Institute. So isn't that interesting? So this Beer Institute is the regulatory body that basically oversees how they market their products and make sure that they're not marketing their products to children. And ultimately, I'll make this a little bit of a shorter story by saying it seems to me that with everything Senator Cruz brought up and was asking about, it seems pretty obvious they intentionally chose Dylan Mulvaney. Oh, God. I keep saying
It's all right.
they intentionally chose DM, and they intentionally chose that person because of his fan base. And you even have that Alyssa Heinerscheid stating in her little video that popped up right after the boycott started, where she's even saying we got to get younger drinkers. And Senator Cruz's office identified that, and like I said, Anheuser-Busch pretty much ignored them, sent them back somewhat of a generic letter, and it wasn't even signed by Brendan Whitworth, which was pretty insulting. And it's that speaks of a certain arrogance. And I mentioned this before. I used to work for a politician. I was that staffer that would be sending out letters like that for anything they were looking into. And when you got somebody on the other end that was ignoring what you were asking for, that's just encouraging you to keep asking questions, because now you see that they're hiding something or they don't want to answer. And I can assure you Senator Cruz and his staff are not going away. And it became very obvious, especially in light of the other stuff that they have been doing, and the fact that they have chosen not to apologize to their customers, that this was planned. This is like a Joe Camel type of thing where they are intentionally trying to market to children. And I really wish there was more talk about this. Everyone just wants to talk about it, how they're dropping in value and stuff, which I'm glad they are. And at first I thought, well, Budweiser, this was something that happened to them because it was the straw that broke the camel's back with, the whole trans thing, and people were sick of it. And but I think there's more to this now too. I definitely think the backlash came about because it was people were sick of it. But there's another thing that should be noted with DM, the particular trans influencer, is that DM is not just an influencer. DM is an activist. We've seen DM having a meeting with President Biden, talking about trans issues, and actually trans issues as they pertain to children, and access for children to make start doing the transition stuff. And that is what is disturbing. But what really jumps out is this is a huge thing from Budweiser, because they're making a political stance by choosing him. This isn't an accident. They are making a political statement. Now, at first, you could probably say, well, maybe they intentionally did it because they're virtue signaling. No, I think they were intentionally going after children. But I think also, yeah, sure, they wanted to virtue signal, help their ESG score. But I think there's more to it. I think they were intentionally trying to market to children. I mean, you can't ignore Alyssa Heinerscheid saying they need younger drinkers. I mean, she states, oh, well, it's in decline and blah, 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 which, I mean, beer in itself is kind of in decline as a adult beverage of choice. You're seeing all these other types of things pop up, like the hard seltzers and, disgusting things like that. Sorry. You can get my sense of that, my opinion. But anyway, what do you thought? I'm rambling here, but,
No, I agree with everything that you have said there about, especially with the DM guy, and I will not call them a woman or refer to them as she either. But
he is creepy.
Yeah, he's very creepy,
Yeah.
and he knows exactly what he's doing. And we've seen some other people talking about him and how he is he's in it for money. He's in it for all kinds of other stuff, and he knows that marketing himself to little girls will, at first got him really popular because all the little girls were on TikTok, and then now he's this big time influencer, so he can do all these things. He's got a lot of the attention, and now all these other people, all these other companies who want to jump in on that piece of the pie with them and have their little LGBTQ stuff put in there. They grabbed him because he's well known. People know him. The kids who want the stuff from Nike, Adidas, all these other places, the Maybelline, all of the girl products and all that.
That's what's really bothered you with a lot of this, is it's, he
erasing women. He literally said in a thing that I just saw the other day, it was a really disturbing TikTok video where he was wearing his shopping shorts, which were gross leather shorts. And he's like, we have to make this normal that some women have bulges. We can't make it a thing. I could change what I wear, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry, but that's not normal. And women don't have bulges unless they have some other kind of issue, and they shouldn't be wearing them either. But that's just wrong. And he's trying to make it like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're a real woman. He even said, I don't have a Barbie pocket like other women do. I have this. It was so disturbing, meaning he has a bulge in his shorts is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I could go on and on about it, but it's very disturbing to me, and I just...
Well, that's the thing, okay? He's prancing around in woman face, okay? He still has his male name. He didn't make the effort to go into court and legally change his name if he wants to be a woman. He doesn't even want to be a woman. That's one of the things Senator Cruz even cites, is that he has indicated in other interviews he wants to be a girl. He talks about his,
girlhood.
Yeah, girlhood.
I'm sorry, nobody calls it that.
Okay.
And it's creepy and gross.
Yeah.
No.
I know you liked the pictures of him playing with his Barbie dolls.
Yes, those were my favorite. I just loved that. That was so horrifying.
Very creepy looking.
Yes.
But, he hasn't had the surgery. He is an actor. That's what his background is. He is an actor, yes. And he's acting like a woman. That's it. He's playing out a role of acting like a woman.
Right, and there's photos and stuff of him on his Instagram and everything of him, just 2 years ago, before COVID, where he was in a play as a boy and has short hair, and I guess he was gay or whatever, but still, he was a boy then, and he's still a boy now. I don't care if he's whatever he's doing and whatever. Even if he has the surgery or not, he's still biologically a male, so whatever. I know. I'm over it.
I know. So,
Sorry.
But that's my point. He is an actor, and he's playing a part. And what's funny is he's almost like trolling the whole world. Yeah.
He
so.
Is.
And you know what irritates me the most about him? Is he keeps dressing like Audrey Hepburn, and that's insulting to Audrey.
It is.
She was so classy.
She would be over that.
That irritates me. That's what irritates me the most.
I know.
Well, that's enough of that type of stuff. I wanted to just mention a couple other quick little things in the news before we move on to our pop culture segment. There was a tragedy in terms of the submersible that was lost on the Titanic, and that was very sad. It was sad. I know the media was counting down. That was almost grotesque, the way the media was counting down how much air they had, and
I know
that was really obnoxious. But it came about that it seems like they were probably the people on that submersible were killed probably almost instantly. That's about the only thing anyone can take some solace in, you know.
Yeah.
And it seemed to have happened on Sunday when they first were starting to submerge. My understanding is it takes like almost 2.5 hours to get down to the depth of the Titanic wreck, because it's over 2 miles down. And but this particular submersible, a lot of things have been brought up about it. And at first you had basically, I think, some lefty commie types that were like all excited because, you know, the people on there were rich and
Yes.
adventure tourism and like, oh, see what they get, which was pretty disgusting. Yeah, so that was offensive to, you know, to see that. I mean, you know, one man had his son on there and he was, I guess, a billionaire or something like that, and that, you know, it's sad. And you know, the other part that was really kind of annoying is when we were trying to find out things about it, you know, we were checking out all different things on YouTube, and you could get some legit news segments that were being posted, but then there were these other ones that weren't really much more than, like, one was TMZ, but another was kind of along those lines, and the people were such idiots.
Yes.
Like, they're trying to make something out of things about the sub where, oh no, they were using a video game remote control to control it, and one, you know, woman was like, it doesn't even have GPS, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like,
I know.
you know, this is a perfect example of people, you know, shouldn't open their mouth when they don't know what they're talking about. What do you want to add to that?
I was just gonna say, I was on Twitter earlier, and I saw somebody had posted. I think it was Anderson Cooper, but I'm not sure. But I didn't even tell you this. But I had seen that the stupid left news reporting people were they're like dying so much to label everything that they're calling these people the submersible community. Like, there's just a community of these people, and they all know these things, and, you know, they should be ashamed of using this or that, and the 50-year-old white guys in the submersible community. It was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's always, everybody's in the community for like the train community or whatever, you know.
No, I know. That's what the media's got to do. They got to pigeonhole everyone, or they're not happy. But it was really obnoxious seeing like the way these people were, like, you know, trying to make something out of nothing, because they basically have nothing to talk about it. It's this submersible is missing. We don't know where, you know, and that sort of thing. I remember, like I said, you know, the girl making a big deal. It doesn't even have GPS. Well, GPS doesn't work underwater, you know. Right. It's you know, especially 2 miles underwater. You know, things like that. That was really obnoxious. But that was the other thing that's come about, is the owner of the sub, the owner of the company that runs the sub, and he was one of the people who was killed. Was a lot has come out. He's a lefty and all about diversity, and you know, he made some comments in an interview shortly before, like how diversity is so important to him. You know, when he looks around at all the other deep sea
submersible community.
Yeah, the submersible community. All it is 50-year-old white men that are former military, and it's like, well, yeah, and those are the guys with the experience. And,
right.
You know, especially when your life is at risk, you want the most experienced people there, not
the most diverse.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, exactly. And wow. You know, it's like I said, I'm not going to go into it because the guy was killed, but it's just a perfect example of, you know, some of the foolishness that exists online, but also some of these woke companies that, this guy was all proud of it, and he was probably going for the good ESG score, and wanted to be some sort of lefty hero. So anyway, well, enough with that. Like I said, that was a tragedy. It's very sad, but so anyway, let's move on to our pop culture segment here.
Right.
And the pop culture segment is this week. I wanted to mention. Ready? It was 48 years ago this week. My favorite movie, well, one of my all-time favorite movies, Jaws, had opened. It was June 20th, 1975. It had opened in theaters, and it is a great movie. I just, I have to watch it a couple of times a year.
Yes, it's really an awesome movie. No matter how many times you see it, it's just one of those.
I can pretty much recite the movie, start to finish if I need to.
Right.
And as I've talked about, that's actually what I'm drinking tonight as a Narragansett beer, which is the preferred beer of Captain Quint. And that's the beer he's drinking when he actually crushes it in front of Mr. Hooper when they're on the boat. Mm-hmm. And actually the company, Narragansett, for each summer, they come out with a commemorative limited edition can, which is in the same style as what they had in 1975. So I always buy up lots of it then because I just love it. And kind of reminds me of my childhood. Not that I was drinking in my childhood, but this is what I remember my dad drinking. And, my dad and my grandfather, just kind of, So, anyway... I went to see that movie in the theater. I was too young, but my parents took me anyway. As a little kid, I was really into all the not horror movies, but the monster movies. Mainly like the Japanese. I'm still into that now. Gamma right. And all that. Mothra. You love Mothra, admit it.
Mothra is really cute and fuzzy.
Yeah. Get a monster that's cute. Anyway, but, as a little kid, I was into those things, and my mom thought, oh, well, this probably won't be that scary, and she and my dad, they took me to see that. Like I said, I was 4, so wow. I really shouldn't have been there, but they took me to see it. It scared me, but... I love the movie, and I'm very excited that we're coming up on a 50th anniversary of that movie.
We're actually going to go and see all of the filming locations that they did, too.
Yes!
Out on the Cape this year, too, I think.
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard, yes, sorry. Not just the Cape. But
yes.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. Martha's Vineyard is, as you've probably figured... you've probably picked up on my Boston accent. I'm from New England. And, so Martha's Vineyard is where it was filmed. I've been out to the island a couple of times, but never actually went looking for all the locations. But that's one of the things we are going to do. And I want to go check them out. But, it's pretty exciting. But I really cannot believe we're coming up on 50 years ago for that movie.
I know.
It's awesome. It really is. I have never read the book, Jaws, that was written by Peter Benchley. But I've heard that the book is terrible, believe it or not.
Wow.
I've heard the book is terrible. I heard by the end of the book you were rooting for the shark.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Not to attack the book. Again, I've never read it. I've heard that about it. Because I think the author was trying to bring in a lot of things like that you don't see in the movie, one of which is I think they even kind of made it like Chief Brody's somewhat of a dirty cop. Matt Hooper's having an affair with Chief Brody's wife. And
oh my gosh, wow, that's disturbing.
Yeah, it was...
That totally... makes no, I don't like that.
It ruins it, and that's the thing. Like I said, it's I've heard that you're rooting for the shark by the end of the movie. End of the book, but Peter Benchley, by the way, I don't know if people know this, but he actually has a small cameo in the original Jaws movie. He is the one that's playing the television reporter that happens to be on the beach, and so watch out for that. And actually, some local news. One of the kids that was in the movie. Now that movie, other than the main cast, everyone else in that movie was a local, and they were different people who were in it are still living on the island. Some have passed away, but it was just in the news locally that one of the kids, I don't know if you remember a scene where two little boys were, scaring everyone with a fake shark fin, and then
it was strapped on their back and they're swimming around.
Yeah, well, they come up and then they pop up and there's everyone pointing a gun at them, and they're like, one of the kids is like, it was his idea or something like that. He talked me into it. One of those little kids actually just became the police chief of one of the towns on Martha's Vineyard. So it's just...
That's so cool.
Yeah. Everyone there is, like I said, was a local. And one of the people who I'd like to actually try and meet is the guy that played Alex Kintner. He's one of the first people killed by Jaws. He's the little boy that, was killed. He's the second person killed, actually. He is the manager of a restaurant or bar and restaurant there. So
he's the son of the woman that slaps Chief Brody in the face on the dock. That's right.
I can't think of his real name at the moment, but yeah. So he's one you can pop in and see him. And trying to think, the woman who did slap Chief Brody, she was an actress that was from the island. She actually did a lot in the like the local theater there, doing a lot of different things. I wish I could think of the lady's name, but so she passed away just a couple of years ago too. So, but anyway, as I said, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Every time I can catch Richard Dreyfuss talking about it, it's always fun. And I don't know if a lot of people realize, but he and Robert Shaw did not get along during that movie. When they were making that movie, Robert Shaw was just a complete dick to Richard Dreyfuss. And I think to a certain degree, Robert Shaw did that because they were supposed to be, in the movie, they were supposed to not get along. And I think he intentionally did that to create some tension anyway between the two. Mm-hmm. And but Richard Dreyfuss speaks very kindly of him now, if you ever catch an interview with him. But yeah, Richard Dreyfuss, great actor. I enjoy hearing him speak about things. And I don't know. I think it's really great. I enjoy every time I can catch him talking about that movie. He actually starred in another one of our all-time favorite movies, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes, yeah. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do a double feature of the two.
Right.
So, that's a great actor, and it's always fun to watch that. It feels like we got to watch it at least once a summer.
Yes, definitely summery movie.
Yeah, we usually are able to catch it at a local drive-in that would have its like throwback night. I think the last time we went, we saw Jaws, then Jurassic Park. Yeah, the double feature they had.
That was cool.
That was awesome. So, but did you have anything you wanted to add for? Pop culture references or anything?
Actually, yeah. I was really excited because I think it's at the end of this month. The final season of Jack Ryan is going to be on, and I just love that. That's been so good. We've watched all the subsequent seasons on it, and I wasn't sure I would like it, but I love it. It's so good. John Krasinski is so good in that, and I just love it.
That's Jim Halpert, to all of you Office fans.
Yes. Love Jim. Jim and Pam.
Yes. Actually, yeah, that's what is that? That's Amazon Prime, right?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's one of their original productions, though. That's and that is really good. We I have enjoyed that. You know, I like spy type stories and
Yeah.
stuff, and
That's a really good one. It's almost like movie quality acting and the scenes and the action and all of that stuff. It's so good.
I agree. It really is, and you know that caused us to check out some other movies that were Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy. Like, no, I mean, obviously, I made you watch The Hunt for Red October, which I know you liked.
Yes, I did like that. Yeah.
You know, and that's with Alec Baldwin as Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
And then we watched Patriot Games.
Yeah.
And that was with my goodness, I can't believe I am Harrison Ford.
Yes.
I don't know why Harrison Ford ended up playing Jack Ryan in that one, because my understanding was originally Alec Baldwin was supposed to had signed on to do like all three of those movies that they had planned, and I'm not sure what had happened. I think they both did a great job. Say what you want about Alec Baldwin, I really don't care for him as a person, but I thought he did a good job in The Hunt for Red October. You know, Harrison Ford, though, I think did equally a good job. I think both of them really did excellent jobs with that. But we went and checked out a couple of the other movies. We checked out that one, Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, and that was terrible.
Yes, that was.
That was the one with Kevin Costner. I don't even know who the actor was that played Jack Ryan, but he sucked. It was.
Yeah.
It was.
I don't even know. Did we even watch the whole thing?
No, we shut it off. It was
yeah.
like we're both like, "Wow, this is really stupid."
Yeah, was it compared to all of the other portrayals of him in those stories? That was crap.
That that was directed by what's his name there, Kenneth Branagh, who thinks he's a great director. He's so. He's the one that did those Agatha Christie movies, the reboots of the Agatha Christie movies.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that played Hercule Poirot.
Oh yeah, with the
the funky mustache. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and that was the first one of those we saw, which was the Murder on the Orient Express. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Death on the Nile.
Nile, yeah, that was.
That was terrible.
That
Don't
was
waste your money.
The
Do
very
not.
woke version of
Yes.
Death on the Nile.
Yes.
If you're into that, you'll love it. But if not, then you don't need to waste your time.
You know what? If you want to see that, see the version that they made like in the late 70s, early 80s with Angela Lansbury. And if you really want to, that was far better.
She was awesome in that.
Yeah, she was. But the Death on the Nile, the more recent one from just a couple of years ago, it was absolutely terrible. When you're doing an Agatha Christie movie, and this particular one, it's first of all, it's set in a particular time period. And being set in that particular time period, there are certain things that maybe modern audiences aren't comfortable seeing. But in this particular case, it's kind of relevant, and no, they're going to change that. And, it's just like, okay, so it was terrible. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. You'll never get that 2 hours back of your life.
And you're not missing anything.
Yeah, it was terrible. Well, what else? That made me think of something. Oh, reinterpreted for modern audiences. The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Now, that's one of my all-time favorite books. And we're just revealing everything about my favorites here. But I made you watch the Francis Ford Coppola movie, which was, I want to say, from about 1972. And that was with Mia Farrow in it, and Robert Redford. And that was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was a pretty good adaptation of that book. And then we watched the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, and even you didn't care for the new one, correct?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was okay. It was just some parts of it, like some of like the CGI in the sky was disturbing. The music choices were odd, but I mean, the rest of it was pretty good. It was just, it seemed to me like it was The Great Gatsby for millennials. That's kind of how I felt it was.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing the Francis Ford Coppola one.
Yeah.
Which was good. It was very classic and it was great. But yeah, that one was. It wasn't bad, but it was weird.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I think for me, I really liked the actors who played all those roles. I really thought that was a great thing. Each one I thought was perfect for their role. But I think the other part of that particular one that was, needless that they did the CGI, and there was no need for so much CGI in that type of movie, I feel. I'm not a fan of CGI because I really feel that when I really feel that directors are getting lazy with CGI. I think it's one of those type of things rather than doing the practical effects and having the actual sets. They just do CGI, and I think it's one of those type of things that they really have become very, very lazy in what they're making. I didn't want to get too off track here talking about that particular movie. But yeah, that was another one of those movies. It's sad. I think it could have been great. But also, as Mrs. Gray Squirrel Patriot even mentioned, the music was not right for that movie too. They used modern music, and I felt that was really wrong, especially when you're doing a movie about a particular era that was defined by its music. It was known as the Jazz Age, and to have them, put in modern music, they just really kind of ruined it in a way. But anyway, I know you're a fan. You do like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean,
I do. Yeah, I like him a lot. Yeah, he's been in some other movies that I know, Titanic and all that.
Yeah, well, one of your all-time. Mrs. Gray Squirrel Patriot is a huge fan of gangster films.
Yes, I do. I just love them. And actually, yes, The Departed is my favorite movie with him in it. Yes.
I introduced her to The Departed, and you got to say it the right way. The Departed.
The Departed. Yes.
I introduced her to that movie, and we immediately had to watch it again. You liked it so much.
Yes, I just loved it. It was awesome. It ended so differently than I thought, and it was just really cool twist at the end, and I won't give it away just in case you haven't seen it, but it's awesome. And if you love gangstery, Boston-y movies, you need to watch that. Because there's a bunch of them, actually, but that one's really good. I just love it.
Have you seen the Dunkin' Donuts commercial where it's Ben Affleck going into a Dunkin' Donuts, and they're like, "Don't we know you from something?" And he tells them he's Matt Damon. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you were in The Departed." And he's like, "Yes, I'm Matt Damon." So, anyway, well, I think we should move on to our paranormal segment. And this particular week, we were trying to go through different things we wanted to discuss for the paranormal part. And
actually, we should talk, next week, it is World UFO Day, and we're going to have to do, is it next week or the week after?
I think it's next week, not next Friday, but a few days after.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm a week
You're
ahead.
all getting ahead of yourself.
I'm a week ahead of myself.
World UFO Day.
Yes. Maybe we can even come up with something to put out for that
Yeah.
day or something.
Put on our tinfoil hats.
Yes, definitely. Yes, like hecklefish.
Yes. No, but with the stuff that's still out there right now is that guy that came out saying, he's a whistleblower and he saw, he knows that the government and certain companies, aerospace companies here in the U.S. actually have recovered extraterrestrial vehicles, and I think the guy is a fake. He might be real, as in, real Air Force guy or whatever, but he's not a whistleblower by any means.
No.
I mean, that was the big story last week, and everyone, they're still talking about it. What's his name, like Gorsh? Something like that, And he's, first of all, we watched the interview with him, and he just comes off as arrogant.
Yeah, he does.
He just strikes me as like, I don't know, usually a whistleblower looks a little scared.
Yeah, he was just
uncomfortable.
very confident in everything he was going to say.
Yeah, and I don't know. He just seems kind of smug and, I don't know. I didn't like him at all. I just didn't have a good feeling with him. But as he's talking about it, he's never seen anything. He's talking about something he was briefed on. Well, right. Big deal. I mean...
Well, even that, was he on the same, or in the same unit as the Skinwalker guy is on Skinwalker Ranch? He was the head of some kind of UFO research or something.
Oh, you're talking about the guy from Skinwalker Ranch, Microwaves on the Mesa guy?
Yeah, yes, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, well, he just talked about how he was, at the beginning of this season on Skinwalker Ranch, he mentioned something about how he was involved in something with that, and he wasn't even able to tell his colleagues on Skinwalker Ranch on that TV show what he was doing for the Pentagon, and it's just, I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I just know I watched that interview with that guy, and I didn't like him. I'm like, no, he's totally not real. I don't believe him. I don't believe his story. I think he's a plant. And again, a lot of this new UFO, UAP stuff, sadly, I think most of it's, I think, the public is being played by, if not the government, definitely by, like, the, defense industry, the military-industrial complex. I think they're trying to just play Congress and even the public to get more funding for things. That's what I think. That's my sense of it.
Yeah.
I really don't buy it. I haven't really been impressed with all this stuff. From the Tic Tac and the UFO witnessed by those fighter pilots, the Super Hornet pilots from the USS Nimitz, to some of the other ones that they've made available. I just really am not impressed with what I'm seeing.
And there seems to have been a lot of UFO stories on the news lately, like that family who pretended that they saw the UFO, which probably was actually...
They saw the alien in their backyard.
Yes, it was a 10-foot alien with big eyes and a big mouth, and they didn't seem all that scared about it, but I guess it's actually been come out that it was a hoax, obviously.
But it just happened to be tied to the police witnessing what looks to me almost like space debris coming down as there was something, if you haven't seen it, there's some footage from a police officer's dash cam, not his dash cam, actually it's his body cam. I think they were dealing with somebody and on the side of the road talking to some guy, and then you see this streak of light go across the sky, and to me it looked a lot like when space debris comes down, burning up. That's what it looked. The bright light
And other people saw that. That's that the family probably saw it, or someone. They said they were outside working on their truck, so of course, they're gonna be like, "Oh, here's my chance to, be on the news and pretend that we're being invaded."
Yeah. We saw one of the kids from that, and we didn't have a sense that he was telling the truth either.
Yeah. No.
If I saw a 10-foot alien in my backyard, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah.
That's I don't know. I just even the way they called up and reported it to the 911 dispatch, they didn't seem as.
Oh, they weren't that stressed.
Yeah.
They're like, there's an 8-foot alien outside. It has big eyes and it's looking at me right now, and the woman's like, "Are you serious?" Oh, you're serious. Okay, we'll send somebody right over.
Yeah, that was the thing, and the cop, to his credit, was kind of very, I think, pretty easygoing with them. He at least was sort of taking them seriously.
Yeah, and the aliens had just left when they got there.
Yeah,
It just
it's always
taken
the
off
case.
in their spaceship.
Yes. they always leave right before the cops get there. They know. Yeah, no, that's one of those things. I really hate that,
That makes people who, really do see something not even want to come forward because they're going to be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded on that sort of stuff, but, what's the old saying, you should be open-minded, but not so open-minded your brains fall out, that's...
Right.
And that's, I don't know, that just annoys me when I see stuff like that. But, again, nothing new on this particular guy coming forward and trying to, say he saw aliens. And like I said, it just seemed absolutely ridiculous to me. Just watching the guy talk, I was very unimpressed with the way he spoke in the interview, and then... But then he even had like a letter from the Pentagon saying he's authorized to talk. Well, how does that make you a whistleblower? I mean, if you're, a whistleblower, aren't you doing things without, permission from, wherever you worked? I think this guy's name, David Grush. I think I said Gorch, but I think it's Grush.
Oh.
Yeah, David Grush. And I'm looking it up now as I'm, talking. But I was very unimpressed. It's very disappointing, though, because, like I said, I think I get excited when I see news about this stuff. I'm like, ooh, I want to check this out. Especially when I see it on at least, somewhat legit, news agencies.
Right.
But I'm like, okay, this seems pretty fake. So I'm hoping, though, that more stuff comes out. I know there is some other things, and I want to bring up next week. I want to do some things about different older UFO incidents. I wish they'd look into. I realize to a certain degree it's hard for them to look at historic UFO incidents because now maybe even the witnesses are deceased and stuff, but you could still go re-examine them. You could re-examine whatever files the government had established on those. They could get into looking at that. I know a lot of Project Blue Book's purpose was to really just make an excuse for everything, no matter how outlandish it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you have anything else to add?
No, really. I was trying to find the name of that guy from The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I still can't find his name. But
What, microwaves on the Mesa?
yes, I always make fun of him. I like him though. They've actually been having some kind of cool. We've been watching the series through all of the seasons, and this year I kind of some of the stuff that they've been doing has been more focused on above the ranch there, which is very interesting, and like wormholes and portals and all that stuff. And it seems, every week they kind of are like, making you think they're going to make some big discovery, and then they sort of do, but it doesn't really make sense. But it's still interesting anyway. I think the coolest thing that they did was with the drones, where they had all the drones go up in one big square.
And then a couple started working, operating weirdly, doing their own thing.
It was cool because you could almost kind of like see physically the weird section of the area, and they've done all these like scans and with radar and all these different kind of. I don't even know the name of the different radars, but doing all these things. I don't know. I find it really fascinating. I don't know too much about all that stuff either, but it's cool.
The guy you're trying to think of is Travis Taylor.
Yes, Travis. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name
ever.
Yeah.
I gotta say, as a scientist, he's definitely an open-minded type. We like seeing that, but he did say something at the beginning of the season. He was doing something with the Pentagon, and it was almost like the members of the cast. They kind of struck me as, you don't know how much of, when you watch those things, how much is an act, how much is real.
Right. They could all be fake.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. But it struck me with the other cast members that they didn't know that, and they seemed almost like a little annoyed.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So, but anyway, if you haven't checked out that show, it's definitely worth checking out. We'll say that much. They got a new show that's sort of following that, like Beyond Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, and they go to other ranches.
That one sucks. That one
sucks.
It's
kind of interesting, but they got us all invested in, in Skinwalker, and it's just weird to, I don't know.
They got that guy that claims to be a CIA guy, and he just...
Yes, you said is everywhere now.
Yeah, all of a sudden that guy is everywhere. I can't think of his name. I'm not even going to waste my time looking it up.
With his man bun.
Yes, yeah. Maybe we'll mention him next week or something, because it's just a little weird. Like, he all of a sudden just appeared everywhere in all these different interviews, and I was like, wow, this guy came out of nowhere. So anyway, that's all I have this week. I think might be a good point to wrap it up here.
Yes, and we if you happened to catch our happy hour last week, we really apologize for the sound quality. We're still kind of figuring stuff out.
It's all Mrs. Gray Squirrel.
Yes, I will take the heat for that. I'm not sure what went wrong, but we were clearly having some issues. I'm still trying to figure out how to do a lot of the stuff, but hopefully this one will be better, and it's not going to be as long and a little more interesting, I hope. So sorry if you had to listen to that or even attempted to, but hopefully you've made it this far.
Yeah. And if there's anything you'd like us to talk about, or any ideas about paranormal things, pop culture things, or even if you want to recommend a movie for us that you think we might like or something like that.
Yeah.
We're always open to things like that. So please drop us a message and let us know. And love to hear anyone's thoughts about the other movies we discussed today, too. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Tell other people about our channel. I know our weekly happy hours are a little different from the rest of the stuff we do, but we're going to be coming back at you with a lot more mystery type things that we're just working on some stories for. In the meantime, we've been doing some of the more political news type things. And so if you have ideas or anything you'd like, we'll definitely take a look at them. As I said, we do have some things in the works here, and we'll be coming out with those as well. Do you have anything to add?
No, not really. Just follow us and like us. Follow us on Twitter. We're on Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, all the things. So.
All the things.
Well, I always leave everything listed below in the description box for all our videos. So just feel free to follow us or don't if you don't want to. That's okay too. But thanks for listening.
You can even hate us and just leave us hateful messages.
Yes, give us thumbs down, because any kind of little thing,
It all helps.
helps the channel. So.
Anyway, once again, thank you. We're trying to get our channel going, and we're hoping you're liking these. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. See you later, everyone. Be safe.